Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. Today, I wanted to talk to you about a couple of costs potentially and a couple of benefits to having a revocable living trust. Before I get to that though, I want to remind you, as always, if you have questions, if you decide that you want help, please go to estatemeeting.com. You can set up a time to talk with me over the phone or in person for free. estatemeeting.com. All right. So today's topic comes from a conversation that I had with a potential client. We've been talking quite a bit about they have a testamentary trust already made, which means they have a trust inside of a will. And I've already talked about how much I don't like those and how much I hate those because they don't really give you one of the benefits of a trust, which we'll talk about in a minute. And so then towards the end of the conversation, I think the husband just said, "Hey, I'm just going to ask you a question here. See, just give me what you can." I said, "Fine, shoot. I love questions." And he said, "Can you just tell me like a few of the benefits of a trust and a few of the consequences of a trust?" I said, "Yeah, no problem. Let's start with the consequences." Consequence number one of a trust, potentially, is that it costs a little bit extra at the beginning, right? So that's sort of a consequence. Although it's not a great consequence, it is one. And I came up with another one. I can't actually remember right now. I think it was specific to their situation. But no, I remember what it was. One of the other consequences of a trust is that you are going to have to take a little bit of extra time to think about where you want all of your stuff to go. Because if you just do a will, you basically say it goes over here, and it goes over here, and it goes over there. And if you do that, then it just goes to those places. You don't get to spell out anything additional or extra. You don't have any ability to have a continued oversight or management over those assets into the future. So that is a consequence, is having to figure out what that is. It's like I always say, if there's 3 jellies on the grocery store shelf, it's pretty easy to pick which one you want. But when there's 20 jellies, it gets exponentially harder. That can be the same case with a trust as well, because when you create a trust, really, you can do whatever you want. And sometimes having that much flexibility makes it difficult to really sort of hone in on exactly what it is that you want to do. So those are the 2 costs. Okay, there are no tax costs or consequences. There's no, I don't know what else you might want to think about. There aren't really that many consequences to having a trust. The benefits to the trust, though, are numerous, and there are several, particularly if you have kids or if you want to manage money long term. The number one benefit that you're going to have with the trust is that, and these are in no particular order, is you get to avoid probate. Right? Probate is essentially the process of transferring your assets to someone else. When you have a trust, essentially your trust holds your assets forever. They hold your assets when you're alive, they hold your assets when you're dead, and so there's no need to transfer those assets to anyone else. When you die, a new trustee just steps in to manage the assets that are in the trust, distribute those assets or hold on to those assets according to the terms that you have laid out, and the world just keeps chugging along with regard to your assets. Okay, so that's number one benefit. Number 2 benefit is that you get to save probate costs, right? We talked about the trust costs a little bit more to start at the beginning. The probate costs on the back end are typically 3, 4, 5, 6 times what you would have to set the trust up in the first place. Okay, so although you're paying a little bit extra now, you're saving a lot potentially in the future. Number 3 is you get this long-term oversight and management over your assets. One of the reasons why I'm working, one of the reasons why I'm making these videos every day, one of the reasons why I'm doing all of this stuff is to provide an opportunity for my kids to have a great life. And if my life ends early, I would love to know, or I like to know, I take some more comfort in knowing, because I have this stuff set up already, that the assets that I've created, the assets that I have set up, the life insurance that I've purchased, for example, is going to be utilized in a way that's going to continue to give them tremendous opportunity into the future, and not just be something that allows them to go and have one hell of a spring break party, in 2025 or whenever they would be not 2025, 2018, 2030, let's call it. I don't know. So that's another reason why you would want to have a trust, right? You get probate help, you save money on the back end, and you get that control and oversight over the assets into the future. All right. So just a couple of thoughts there real quick on revocable living trusts. It's a thing that a lot of people believe they need to have. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Washington State, to sort of wrap all this up into a bow, avoiding probate in and of itself isn't always the best reason or a valid reason to have a trust. That's why you should talk to somebody like me to figure out if you actually need it or if you can accomplish your goals in a way that is cheaper and easier and more effective than a trust. All right, and to do that, just to remind you, you can go to estatemeeting.com. You can set up a time to talk with me over the phone or in person for free, estatemeeting.com. All right, wrap this up. I am Christopher Small. I'm the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning. We do probate. We do it well. I appreciate your time. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you have a question or comment, please leave it. If you know somebody that needs to hear this, please share it with them. Otherwise, thank you for your time. I appreciate you, and I will be here again to talk to you tomorrow.